Hey guys, Micah from blackbearcustomkydex. I am going to do a quick speed review of all the sheaths that I've done for Tim of Everyday Tactical Vids in this particular batch. I'm not sure when I'm getting all these to him to review, but he'll review them and he'll drop his video before you ever see this. So anyway, alright, let's start with the simple ones and work our way up. And these are going to be very, very quick looks at each one of these things. Nothing really in-depth, but I wanted to have kind of one cameo video that just shows everything. So first one, we have an SE Zula with paracord handle, and this is white Kydex with carom snake skin over the top of it. So that's real snake skin that's been, I didn't dye it. I think it is possibly the natural color of the snake, but I did waterproof it a little bit. Obviously snake skin is already going to be pretty weather resistant, but I waterproofed it a little bit with some more mink oil paste, and it's got a really good bond to the Kydex. This stuff is really fun to work with and looks really cool. So there's that guy on a combat loop. You can orient it for horizontal, vertical, or canted for cross draw. Next up, we have a CRKT Mossback. Nice little knife, and this guy is Storm Gray Kydex with, I believe, Hexcam Spectre. I could be wrong about which Hexcam, but that is Hexcam. Got a reinforcement plate on both sides. It is an ambidextrous sheath, so if you're lefty, you can swap the clip over to the other side, and whichever hand you're using it for, you can carry this one vertical, horizontal, or canted for a cross draw. And there's a combat loop on this one as well. We have the SE RB3, the bush lore. This is quite a popular knife. It is excellent. I really like this thing. And the sheath for it is in flat dark earth with subdued American flag Kydex over the top of it. It also is set up on a tech lock, very similar to a combat loop, and can be carried horizontal, vertical, or canted for cross draw. You can see that there is an Exotac fire rod down here below. I've attached some shot cord to it because as you use it, the rod will shrink and you'll need the shot cord for retention because the loop will no longer be contacting the rod in such a way that it can retain it. This one is also on a tech lock. I think I already said that. Deal with it. Alright, this guy here, a Vox Onso. Nice little knife. And the sheath for it is on a combat loop. Same deal, three-way carry setup, reinforcement plates on both sides, and it's on a combat loop. Colors are OD Green and Cryptek Highlander. This one is a Steelwill Dark Angel. Pretty cool knife. I think this might be a giveaway, although I'm not 100% sure. And you can see the colors here, Cryptek Neptune with True Hide Whip Texture Kydex. It's like a black leather looking Kydex. Reinforcement plate on both sides. And this guy here is the Breakaway Dangler. So essentially, you leave this loop on your belt, and if you want to get rid of the sheath for any period of time, you can just separate them by pulling them apart. This will unclick, a little bit like a seatbelt buckle, only you don't have to push a button. And when you want to reattach it, you just put that back in there, like so. One thing I think I actually forgot to mention in the other videos is I set mine up so that there's one side that's flat coming off of the D-ring and one side that's contoured, essentially formed. You want the formed side to be facing your body. You want the flat side to face the sheath itself. All right. So putting it back in is as simple as you just line that up, push it back in, and there you go. You're ready to rock and roll. This particular one I set up to be ambidextrous, so if you want to switch sides, all you have to do is unscrew these three screws, pull this apparatus off. You probably want to take these two screws out because they're holding this reinforcement plate on, and then you would just put the plate, the reinforcement plate against the sheath, and this over the plate, screw this to the plate, and then screw the whole thing back to the sheath on the other side, and bam, you have it set up for a left-handed dangler carry. So just mirror image. I know that was a convoluted explanation, but obviously you just set this up mirror image to what it is, but I think, like I said, I'm pretty sure this is a giveaway, so I set it up to be ambidextrous because, obviously, currently it's a right-handed setup, but a lefty might win it, and if they do, I want them to still be able to get the most out of this sheath. So, there we go. Steelwill Dark Angel. All right, moving on, we have pretty unique design. This is something that Tim came up with. Asked if it was possible, and I said I can definitely give it a whack, and I think we got it. So this is a Mora Hatchet with a Mora companion attached to it. So you don't see, I don't think I've ever seen a sheath for a hatchet that had a knife sheath piggybacked onto it. In addition to being a knife sheath piggybacked onto it, this is a breakaway piggyback, so you can actually separate the companion from the axe sheath, and it's just ready to go. It's got an ulti clip on it, which allows you to do a pocket carry. Right, so this is currently set up for right front pocket, but it is ambidextrous. And how it works, basically, well, you know how knife sheaths work, obviously, but it's basically a sheath for a sheath. So to get that back in there, you just line up the two sheaths, put it in there, you're good to go. And the hatchet actually is set up on molly clips. So this will attach right to a pack or vest or whatever. Probably a pack. I wouldn't personally vest carry this, but throw that on your pack, and you got a couple good wood tools to go out there and do your thing in the brush. Next sheath is a combo for the SE5 and the Secr 2.5. This is a pretty cool sheath. It's got a lot of really unique features. So starting with the carry setup, it is currently a dangler. This is a nylon dangler instead of leather, and one of the things I decided to do with this one was turn it into a removable dangler, so you can very easily, it's got pull the dot snaps, so you can lift those up. You have to lift from the bottom, otherwise these snaps won't come undone, and when you re-snap it, you have to snap it down from the top to the tip. This allows you to obviously take the sheath off and on and off your belt without having to undo your belt, unlike a fixed loop where you have to actually slide it off of the belt itself. So that can kind of be a pain in the butt. I do personally prefer a fixed loop because the trade-off is you get a lot of extra strength in having a fixed loop, not have to worry about the potential of your snaps coming undone and dropping your sheath off. It might not be very likely, but I just don't like to take that chance. One of the other things that I have set up on here, and maybe it's slight redundancy, but this is a breakaway dangler as well. So if you want to separate, you can just do this, and bam, you've got your sheath taken off. One of the things I think that makes the breakaway dangler actually applicable on this one, you know, as a combination with the removable snaps, is that you do have excuse me, you do have a breakaway piggyback on here as well. So this Secr 2.5, all you have to do is grip the sheath down here by the ulti clip and up here by the thumb ramp, wiggle it a little bit as you pull it backward toward yourself, and bam, you've broken it away. So you have a little pocket sheath that's ready to go. The Secr 2.5 can carry by itself, and this Kydex that you're seeing here is the clear stuff is called Ghost or Mirage. I can't remember which one I use. I think it's Ghost. The 2.5 has some black carbon fiber on it, and the SE5 has some flat black on it. So you get some cool accent pieces. But with the colors here, green and green and orange Kydexes just don't quite match the colors of the SE green and orange. So I thought it'd be a cool idea to maybe do clear Kydex and let the knives be their own accent color with maybe some black to just contrast it in there. So this is pretty cool. I think it came out really nice, and get a good little draw on these. It also has an Exotac fire rod attached down below. Highly recommend that fire rod. There you go. Alright, next up we have, which one do I show now? I really like these last two sheets, so alright, we'll go with this one. It's a little bit crazier, but the last one I think is my favorite. So This guy is for a CRKT. Oh, I always forget which one these are. Sorry, it's not CRKT. It's OKC, Ontario Knife Company. This is the Woodsman, and this is the Fieldcraft, the Bushcraft Field Knife. Did I get that right? Bushcraft Field Knife. All right. The colors that you see are flat dark earth on this one, desert tan on this one, and then a bunch of Cryptek Mandrake here and there on both of them. It is set up as a baldric system. So baldric just means it carries on a 2-point sling. It is a little bit forward heavy, so as you're carrying it, it kind of wants, it's okay when it's got your body to push against, but if you're just holding it up, it wants to tilt forward because of that, the placement of the piggyback on it. Both of these knives have a really excellent draw on here, smooth. They're both in there really secure. As for attachments, we've got a ThruNite TI3 flashlight here, a ThruNite T10 V2 on the tip of the sheath. We have a, I believe it's a Coughlin's fire steel right here, a Schrade fire steel, big ferro rod right here at the bottom, and then on the back there's an Armor Light compass, and this thing is sort of loosely attached through its keyring to the baldric sling itself, so you can kind of pop it off, get it away from the metal on the sheath, try to get an accurate reading, and then pop it back onto the sheath. And the reason I wanted to do some kind of attach point like that is just in case you knocked it free. It is up against your body, so if the cord were to snag against your clothing or whatever and pop that compass out, I want, you know, if it's dangling, it's at least it's still with you, whereas otherwise it might be just totally lost and you don't know where you dropped it, etc., etc. So one thing I might recommend is to experiment a little bit and see if the distance that this string affords you is far enough away that the metal doesn't interfere with the compass reading. And if it's not, then I would recommend simply attaching some paracord to the D-ring and then the other end of the paracord attached to the sheath somewhere. Very easy fix. I don't know if it's necessary or not, but I figured I would just throw my 2 cents out there in case that compass reading is messed up for whoever's getting this. This is a giveaway sheath, I know that for sure, so whoever wins is going to win these 2 knives, everything you see here, this whole package. This is really, really cool. Unfortunately, something like this is just too intricate to set it up to be ambidextrous, so I'm really hoping that a right-handed person wins this. If a lefty wins it and they don't mind using it like this, then good on you. If not, I'm sure you could sell this for a pretty penny too. So anyway, I'm really excited about this one. It also has a breakaway dangler, or sorry, a breakaway piggyback. So again, you want to grab the sheath itself. Never grab the handle when you're trying to remove a breakaway piggyback, because you might accidentally draw the handle out, draw the knife out rather. I do set up my my breakaways. I set up with enough tension on the sheath itself that you can grab the knife and just pull the knife out. I want you to have access to your gear. And I think it makes more sense to be able to quickly get your knife than to quickly separate the sheaths. So, as far as separating goes, grab the sheath itself, wiggle it as you pull it away, and it'll pop out. This guy is pre-installed with a nylon dangler. So you do have to undo your belt and slip this on your belt. This is not set up with snaps. I originally wanted to set this up with snaps, but that would actually widen it slightly, and the location, you have to tuck this guy to make this sheath work. So with where it is, it had to be a very thin thing. That's why I also couldn't go with a leather dangler. So the other thing is, we decided that we would set it up where each knife would always have a flashlight and a fire steel with them. So if you do separate, you've got light and fire regardless of which knife is with you. Maybe you got 2 people in your party and you want to give one the smaller knife while you carry this guy, or vice versa. I just think it's cool to be able to do that. It's got a lot of versatility, having sort of both those survival tools available to both of these knives. Alright, so one thing, important detail, going back into the sheath, you need to line it up so that it fits. The shock cord, I know after you use your ferro rod, the tendency is to slip the shock cord over the tip and just leave it like that. This is actually going to be a problem. What you have to do is grab this. You need to reorient the shock cord. I would actually recommend just doing something like this. Before you put it back on, pull the knot right up to the handle and then manually slip the loop over like that. I know it looks a little bit funky and there's slack in the line and all that, but this is actually very important. Alright, so get that shock cord situated. You got the dangler folded down like that. Put the tip of the knife, or the tip of the sheath, into its adapter, and make sure that the dangler does not go into the adapter. There's not enough space. Dangler will go behind the adapter, so you can even, hold it up here or something if you need to. But then you just start pushing it into place, and it actually goes in pretty easy. It's not a big deal at all. So there you go. There you have it. So it's a pretty cool sheath. There's a lot going on with it, and I think the colors look really awesome together. Very rugged and versatile sheath. Alright, so there's that. That's the OKC piggyback. And then the last one I have is a couple of Condor knives. This is the Condor Iron Path and the Condor Mini Hudson Bay. And this is my favorite sheath that I did. I really, really, really love leather over Kydex. I think it's just a super awesome look and feel. You get all that kind of like rustic look and feel of leather, but it's over a fully functioning Kydex sheath. So you get the protection of Kydex, you get the retention of Kydex. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds, really. This one I did with, I hand dyed this walnut with mahogany dye over the top of it, so it gives it a little bit of depth to the color. You can see some of the marbling that occurs when you mix two dyes. I really, really like this one. This one is also set up as a right-handed baldric sheath, but I did set up this baldric attach point slightly different, so that if you ever do decide to carry it as a dangler instead, you can just run a leather loop or nylon loop or even paracord, whatever. You can fix it to this D-ring and it'll carry on your right side vertically like this as a dangler. This one has an Exotac fire rod, and there is a breakaway piggyback on here. So this is the only one I did for him like this, but it's one of my original creations that's been picking up a lot of popularity lately. This is called the Universal Tech Lock Adapter, and essentially what it does is it allows you to connect any sheath that has a tech lock on it to this adapter. So I'm looking behind me. Okay, I don't have the knife, but I've got the sheath. Yeah, I have no idea where the knife is. This is a TDI sheath, K-bar TDI, but just to show you, all I have to do is situate that guy there, click it down into place, and boom, I have a whole other piggyback on this sheath. So it doesn't matter what the knife or the item is, it really is just the tech lock itself. And this is one thing that is not interchangeable with the combat loop. The tech lock and the combat loop are completely different shape at the bottom, so this adapter will not work with the combat loop. Alright, so anyway, it's just a really cool system that allows you to have a smaller knife already set up with a tech lock and be able to piggyback it onto your bigger knife. I really like this. Alright, as far as the knives go, they both have a really great draw on them. Very smooth, good retention. That breakaway piggyback is obviously extremely valuable. It's a good versatile thing to have. And then I even did the ferro rod loop wrapped in leather here, and I dyed that leather black. I thought that looked really nice. So the adapter for the what you call it, the tech lock adapter and the baldric attach points are also done in that true hide whip texture Kydex. So alright guys, it's about a 20-minute video. Hopefully I was quick enough with the explanations of each of these sheaths, but if you'd like to see a more in-depth look at an explanation of all of them, I've recorded the projects separately. The big systems I did individually, and then the 5 knives that I started with I have in one video. So go check those out if you haven't already done that, and definitely go check out the video that Tim did on this work on all these sheaths and knives. I'll put the link in the description box down below, and I would love you guys to comment down below as well. Let me know what you think of all this stuff, and yeah, I think that's all I got for you. So if you like these knives, if you like these sheaths, hit that like button. If you like the channel, subscribe, comment down below. Let's get some conversations going, and I appreciate you tuning in. Please go check out Tim at Everyday Tactical Vids. He's a super good dude. He's given me a ton of business. I mean, the first review he did was kind of a mile marker for me because it sparked the first real bump in business and interest in my work. And since then, it's just been continuously growing. So a huge thank you to him, and a huge thank you to you guys for showing interest and for contacting me for these orders. And I just never thought it would get as big as it is right now. So I am super flattered and very humbled by your support. So, all right, guys. Everyday Tactical Vids, go check that out. Great guy, great channel, great gear, and that's all I got for you guys. Stick around for the next one. Thanks for tuning in. God bless.